Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to my video where I do a lot of talking and say like, I don't know, 2 jokes, we'll see. Hard glue gasket, let's go. 19 gay. Okay, it's gonna be one of those days, huh? My videos have been getting a lot of traction in the past few weeks. I went from getting 1000 views per video to getting over 10,000 views on one of my last videos. And with that, naturally you get more people who start to dislike your videos and people who want to voice their concerns. Well, a few days ago I got this lovely comment that said my video was awful and terrible, and that really hit me. First of all, it's always nice to meet new fans. Thank you, Jeremy. There is also so much mystery involved with our antagonist, Jeremy. He doesn't say why the video is terrible. Maybe it was the budget microphone. Maybe it is the crisp, sexy Slavic accent. Who is this mysterious Jeremy? Nobody knows, but when I took a shit this morning, I was really thinking about him. So poo-poo to you with a hint of 85 smithing. I love you, Jeremy. Please come visit me again. I need to get my cheesecake back that I lost few days ago, so join me and let's talk about how Jagex got caught with their pants down. The day is April 1st. 2019, and trust me, I wish this was an April Fool's joke, but it's not. Quite the opposite. The UK Parliament is looking into gambling in video games and asks multiple gaming companies to step forward so they can investigate if and how they can prevent gambling addictions in video games and how do these companies operate. Surprisingly, many companies ignored the Parliament's call, but Jagex was one of those companies that showed up. So join me, let's go through that day and see what Jagex said about RuneScape and how it operates. Let's start with some general facts. Here is a good one. The average RuneScape player has played for over 8 years. Remember, that was 2 years ago, so that number is probably close to 10 years now. That is absolutely bonkers. I don't think there is many games that can say that. Before the pandemic started, 100k players played every single day. After the pandemic, I bet that number is even bigger. The average playtime is around 3 hours per day. I thought Jagex tried to explain EHP in front of the Parliament, which honestly would have been pretty funny to see. So take that 3 hours per day with a grain of salt. Jagex also said RuneScape has about 8,000 days of content coming up to 21 years if you played regularly. Let me clarify, they are talking about RuneScape 3 here, but you can kinda make the comparison yourself to old school RuneScape. There are slight differences between the game, but the bigger picture is overall kinda the same. But yeah, Jagex thinks RuneScape has 21 years of content if you played 24 hours a day. Remember, this is entire day if you never go to sleep. So if you divide that by 8 hours a day like a normal human being, it would take you over 60 years to complete RuneScape, at least in the words of Jagex. That doesn't even include new content that's added every month. It's safe to say both games will probably never run out of things to do. Next thing we found out, over 98% of player base is adults in RuneScape. That probably also beats most games. Only 2% of player base is underage. That is crazy. And that's when I saw the first joke, which raised my eyebrows a little bit. UK Parliament asked Jagex that they heard people play up to 10 or 12 hours a day, and Jagex answers this. This is an extremely rare and infrequent case for such a small community and usually around specific content, i.e. new releases. Long playtime is not rewarded in the same way as longer play. Okay, Jagex. Who is gonna tell them there is something really sus here? Funny thing is, by that time mobile was already released, which would drive hours way up. With the best interest in mind, I can't possibly believe playing RuneScape 10 hours a day is a super rare case. Like, I understand my case, I'm addicted to RuneScape, so I'm a very special boy, but there must be like more than enough players who play during the day on their mobile and during the evenings on their PC, or even the weekends, or even entire days. Like, we're not a rare species, I don't think, at least. But we'll leave it at that. Now let's get to the juicy part and the reason Jagex was actually called up, gambling. But before that, it's time to reclaim the cheesecake from the Cheese King. You know what the funny thing about all of this fiasco is? Gambling, predatory practices, addiction, and so on. Jagex isn't even that bad compared to what we see nowadays. EA, Blizzard, Activision, Bethesda, all these companies are trying their best to suck dry our wallets with putting minimum effort in. What? What? What the hell? Did I just die a Chad? Oh my god, what year is this? 2010? That was quite literally the absolute max Chad hit can do. How? Oh my god, this is embarrassing. I promise you, I'm not that bad. Oh jeez, not a good look. Not a good. Can I be any more unlucky? I had 97 HP and Chad hit 97 on me. I had prayers on Sarah Pro for defense. Oh my god, I still got a max hit. Okay, I am way too tilted to go back there right now. You know it's karma when you trash Jagex for entire video and then get absolutely destroyed. Anyways, let's just continue with the video. Jagex said basically a single account can spend up to £5,000 a month, and that wasn't set up to protect players who have addiction. No. The cap was in place for fraud. Jagex said that we believe our players are big boys and can understand when to stop, which is definitely not true. Some of you don't even know when to go to sleep, let alone not gamble all your money away. Okay, that was mean. I'm sorry, that was mean. In any case, the UK Parliament then asked, can you tell us how much a paying customer gives you money every year? And Jagex Vice President and Director of Player Experience, two people who represented Jagex that day, start to hesitate to answer the question. Like they are on a first date or something. And then they say, yeah, we have that information, but you know, it's kind of sensitive and we're like not ready to share that yet. But you know, trust us, it's not that much. Okay, that is a lot more sus. That's like when you're asking for a proof that I have full Bandos set in my bank and then I'll say, trust me bro, trust me, my source is legit. There is a Bandos set in my bank, I just don't want to take it out, man. That's not how that works. And later on, we'll find out why that doesn't work. Basically, it comes out that there is a serious problem with gambling in RuneScape. Starts with microtransactions, and they don't even mention Duel Arena, arguably the biggest gambling minigame there is in RuneScape. There is a reason players call it Sand Casino. It's quite literally fueling gambling in RuneScape, and players are buying GP from black market to fuel that addiction. Meanwhile, they keep denying that Jagex isn't a gambling company and the money you get stays in-game and cannot be cashed out. That's just straight up a lie. Since they give up more sus answers every time, the Parliament asks just a straight up question. Is RuneScape addictive? And with straight face they say no. I mean shit, if this game wasn't addictive, I wouldn't still enjoy it 16 years later. Not to mention they say they added a 6-hour logout timer to prevent addiction, like that does anything. I mean, RS3 literally has double XP weekends where players do like 40-hour sessions. Unfortunately, nobody at the Parliament really understood gaming in general, so the questions are like super weird and not in context at all. Like one question was, do you think you need to give out mental health advice to your players? And it's like, no, this isn't a therapy session. I just want to click pixels and see level up. It's good Jagex does give out mental health advice now more seriously, but it's not their responsibility to be your personal doctor. Whatever. Let's move on to the best part, or sad part, depending your point of view. Okay, let's continue. I think I've calmed down from the chat part now. It's just time to forget that. Let's continue the video. A Parliament article appears 5 months after the hearing stating that a RuneScape player spent over $60,000 on microtransactions. Parliament states that a concerned parent noticed them and said something should be done about this. Now, I completely hate this, but I think anyone with eyes can see that. The father of the son who spent his money on RuneScape said this in an official letter to the government. Now keep in mind, I'm paraphrasing here, but you can read the full letter in the description. I'll put the link there. Our son spent about £50,000 on RuneScape. He has a good job, but all he does is basically play RuneScape because he is so addicted to it. We sorted that debt out, paid off that 50k together, and then few months ago the same thing happened again. We as parents lost all our savings and have no way of getting it back. I wrote to Jagex CEO asking about this issue that needs to be solved, and they didn't care that our son was able to spend thousands of pounds per week on fictional items. Anyone with a credit card, mobile phone, or even PayPal can spend unlimited amount of money any day. Our son maxed out credit cards, personal loans, everything because he was so addicted to RuneScape, and Jagex did nothing to stop that. I am asking as a father from the government, please put a stop to this and place limits on this game for everyone involved. Now, whether you have any sympathy for the guy who got into debt or not, you have to admit this is pretty messed up. They saw someone spend like a fortune on microtransactions and were like, yeah, please give us more money. Like with the current Diablo fiasco going on, where players have to spend like $100,000 to get full maxed gear, it really puts things into perspective. By the way, if you're wondering, Creepers, why are you jumping from clip to clip? This is just how I play. I do one thing for like 30 minutes and then I try something else. You should do it. I never get bored with this game. Back to our boy who isn't dead. Saddest part of all of this is how he could have been addicted to anything, like literally anything in life, and he chose RuneScape. That is rough to say the least. Like, do drugs, alcohol, whatever. No, you do RuneScape. If Jagex was playing Among Us, they would be the best imposter who has ever touched the game, no kappa. So where are we today, 2 years later? Well, it has gotten a lot better, to give Jagex some credit. The microtransactions are still here and roaming the wild RuneScape 3. They did decide to remove the duel arena, which put like a band-aid on gambling. Of course, you can ignore all that if you play Iron Man mode, which removes all third-party tools for the possibility of gambling, but that's not why people gamble, do they? CampQ made a great video about the evolution of gambling in RuneScape, which I highly recommend you go watch. He talks about dice games, trade restrictions, real-world trading, all of those things, and guess what? There are players who have bought a house with the money they have made with RuneScape gambling. Essentially, the gambling part is still roaming this game, but instead of Sand Casino, we have new, more creative ways to gamble your money away. I still remember a post about users saying, please remove the duel arena, coming from someone who was addicted and spent over $60,000 on RuneScape gold, but is now in recovery. He made the post in hopes that something was gonna change, and some things have changed, but we still have a long way to go. I'll put the link in the description for every article or news I mentioned in this video if you wanna check them out, but that's it for me. Give me the casket reward, and okay, it's still nothing. Well, I got a master clue, which I'm probably gonna complete in the next episode. So if you wanna see that, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Love you. Bye.